I'm sure a bunch of you have actually been in these situations, right? Like you've said, oh, I was at a bar and I saw some jokers jumping on somebody and I did this. But what if you're minding your own business and you see something go down? What do you do? Like, Rob, what do you do?
Okay, you guys, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here, coming at you guys once again every Wednesday. And as always, got Schaefer up in here. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Yeah, man, we've just been having this pretty interesting discussion. Thought we'd throw it out there for everybody.
It's be like a serious one, huh?
Yeah, it's semi-serious. I mean, okay, yes, it's serious.
The topic is.
But we're not going to make it too serious. I mean, I'm not going to go put a suit and tie on to have this discussion.
What are we talking about?
You wanna give a rough outline of what we're talking about, what we've been discussing?
Okay, so we're talking about like when should you kind of step in to help other people as a martial artist? So that's a caveat. You're a martial artist.
That's a good one, right?
Right. You're not just a regular Joe guy, average normie.
Right.
Because that changes things.
I think so. Yeah. I think it does change things. I think it changes where your head's going to be at and your demeanor a lot of times on how you react to things.
Well, how you're perceived too.
Yeah, also how you're perceived.
Yeah. From a legal standpoint.
That's true.
Because we do all this martial arts, this training, combatives, but like, how do you use your combatives? Like, it's obviously it's best just to avoid all that. You do not want to get any fights at all. It's never ends well.
I remember growing up, they used to always say, "Oh, this guy, his hands are registered lethal weapons."
Was there any truth to that?
No, that's bullshit.
Didn't they say that? Well, you're right. They'd say my hands are legally.
Dude, I always heard that growing up.
That was like the 70s, 80s.
Oh yeah. If you know how to box or if you know this and he hits you, well, man, he's going to do more time because he's a registered lethal weapon. He's a trained blah blah blah.
But there is an element of truth to that, though.
Assault is assault.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got one of our a guy that I know. He's a purple belt. Pretty tough guy. He did MMA,
right?
And we were talking one day, and he's like, yeah, Rod. He goes, man, I almost went to prison. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, well, I got in a fight in a bar. Something happened. He ended up just like, all right, let's mix it up. So he ended up busting this guy's freaking eye socket.
Right.
Like this dude he's a tough guy. You know who this guy is too.
Okay.
He could throw down. Anyway, he almost went, but he got off at the last second because they were trying to say, oh, he's a mixed martial artist, which he is.
Right.
And he's this, that, threw the book at him. But he said, Rod, if I get in another fight, I'm going to prison. I can't fight at all ever again.
Yeah.
Basically. So it does matter because, they threw that he's a trained fighter, basically.
Yeah. So.
And he was. That's why he did. That's why he broke the guy's orbital socket. He's a trained fighter.
But you don't need to be a trained fighter to break somebody's orbital.
I know, but I mean, more than likely, that's not going to happen unless, he knows how to punch. He's developed that skill set. He's in good shape. He's a fighter. You're going to have a higher likelihood of causing more significant damage than drunk, Joe guy.
Uncle who's just throwing punches.
At a bar, just throwing a haymaker.
Wild haymakers.
Right? Yeah.
I get that. And when it comes to the nuance of it, when it gets to the legal case, sure, all those things will be coming into play. But you're not going to be charged where someone else wouldn't be charged just because you train. You punch somebody in the face.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You punch somebody in the face. It doesn't matter. It's like I'm tiny and I punch him in the face. I'm big and I punch him in the face. You punch somebody in the face, you've committed an assault. For the most part.
I still think that the lawyers, if the prosecutors wanted to get you, they would say, he punched somebody in the face. That's why we're here. But he's also a trained fighter.
Yes,
so he did more damage.
They would just add it in to strengthen their case. But we're not talking necessarily about people who are trained fighters and just going off cracking jokers in the jaws and stuff.
Breaking orbital sockets.
Yeah, breaking orbitals.
I haven't seen that guy. He's a cool dude, too.
We're speaking more along the lines of you've got some time in, you've been training, you're pretty good at handling yourself, right? In class, maybe in competition, whatever. And now I'm talking whether it's jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, kickboxing, karate, taekwondo, catch wrestling, whatever, right? You're doing your thing, you're a fighter, and you're comfortable fighting. You're comfortable doing that. So you see somebody, they seem like they're in danger. They're in trouble. They're being attacked, right? what do you do? Now, I'm sure a bunch of you have actually been in these situations, right? Like you've said, oh, I was at a bar and I saw some jokers jumping on somebody and I did this. Now, if it's family, if it's friends, and they're being attacked, sure.
Yeah, let's take that out. Let's
instantly. Yeah, we're removing that from the equation. We're not even talking about that. That kind of probably goes without saying. But what if you're minding your own business and you see something go down? What do you do? Like, Rob, what do you do?
You know, it could go so many ways. Like, I think we would need more context, unfortunately.
Well,
Right?
I mean, listen, we can get as specific as you like.
Get a scenario.
but-
Make a scenario.
All right. So the scenario is you're coming out of Walmart. You just got finished buying your Hungry Man dinner, and as you're walking to the car,
Yep.
It's nighttime, and
Ooh, that's all bad.
Yeah, it's always bad.
See,
at nighttime,
first, right out of the gate, avoid things like that.
What, getting Hungry Man dinner at night?
At night. Don't be in the park. Like, if you could go in the daytime.
But you
just
could.
Go in
You're
the
giving me a
day-
scenario.
But I'm
You
just saying,
could.
that's my first
Yeah,
advice to
well-
people. Self-defense awareness.
Yeah, awareness and
Awareness.
situational awareness, for
Yeah.
sure. But you know what?
But in this case, I
You
did.
got off work, you're hungry, you got a Hungry Man
Okay.
dinner, all right? And you're walking out and you see some joker, well, you want me to be specific. You see some joker run up and he's grabbing a purse and they're going back and forth and pop, 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 a couple of smacks up and she's just clutching her purse and this guy's standing over and you're walking by because they happen to be right next to your Porsche.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
You say, hey, get away from my car, you son of a... or, no, what do you do?
Man, I would like to think that I would help. I would like to think that.
There's nothing wrong with thinking that.
Yeah, and I think that I would. I've been in similar situations. I think I would, but you have to be very careful nowadays.
Right.
Now
See,
you're describing an assault where it sounds like there's a strange guy trying to rob take the purse.
Yep.
Pretty sure I would help.
Okay.
Pretty sure I would in that case.
Okay. And
See,
I
it's
get
specific. It changes.
you. Well, but that's what you asked for.
You gave me one, yeah.
Specificity, so I
Now-
gave it to you.
That could go bad though.
Yeah, it could go real bad.
But you know what? That's life. You may end up getting shot. You may end up getting stabbed. That's what men do, though. I mean, unfortunately,
No, you're right.
You just face danger without really
Without
thinking about the consequences. That's what they call it,
it's
courage.
so often, I mean, so much of us grow up and it's like women and children first on the Titanic or whatever the case may be. And you're like, hey, if something's going down and I see this person, if I see this lady, I'm going to probably run up and try to help, right? And you're right. That can bite you hard in the ass. That can bite you big
But
time.
that scenario you gave was, I think you'd be pretty safe in that one because he's
I think
clearly
you'd be pretty safe in that one, too.
Now let's switch it up.
Switch it up.
Let's say the same thing. You're walking out of Walmart. You got your Hunger Man, and you see a guy and his girlfriend,
Ooh.
and they're arguing big time. And he's like kind of not smacking her up a little bit, like shoving her, like grabbing her. Get in the car. Blah, blah. What do you do? Like, let's say he's getting rough.
That gets way more difficult, right?
Totally. That's a game changer there.
Yeah, so first of all,
I know what I do.
I know I got a Salisbury steak Hungry Man, right? Like
Hungry Man. I'm going to go home and eat that
so
Hungry Man.
I was like, man, I'm about to go tear this up,
Yep.
right?
It's
But
so
now,
bad
now,
because
now I gotta decide. So a lot of me would have to actually fight my natural inclination to just run in and white knight the whole situation.
I know.
Because I've also seen too many times. Boom! Somebody intervenes, then both of them turn and they jump
both
on
turn
that
on
one
you.
person.
Yep.
Or you intervene, and now you've actually maybe you hurt somebody, and now you're facing time.
It never ends well, man. I would advise to not get involved in those situations. In today's environment in 2024,
2025.
I'm sorry, 2025. Yeah, thank you. I would say don't get involved, man, because look there was actually a case where the Good Samaritan jumped in,
Right.
and he actually ended up beating up the boyfriend, and he kind of beat him up pretty good. It turns out the girlfriend
Initiated.
pressed charges against him for beating up her boyfriend. Okay, that's the first thing, right? The second thing is you're dealing with the unstable, irrational guy
For
at
sure.
that point, right? Because if there's a guy who's going to be beating up his girlfriend in public,
Yeah,
right?
something's
You
going
already
on.
know he's going to try to go off on you, right? Then you're threatening him, you're confronting him as another man, telling him to try to de-escalate that. He's not gonna in front of his girl. You're gonna be straight. It's gonna turn into a fight, 100%. Now, either he wins, he hurts you, you get injured, you get shot, stabbed, anything, or you end up hurting him. You can go to prison.
That's
and
possible.
you know what's gonna happen 9 times out of 10. They're gonna go home. He's gonna be smashing that night, having some makeup sex anyway. You're gonna be left out in the cold, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. Because look, that's not the first time he's done it.
Well, and
I guarantee
possibly
it.
not. Listen, but again, that's that. You can't tell that from your scenario
It's
the way
like,
you laid it
okay,
out.
he's been Joe
Your scenario
Angel.
is that's what you see in front of you.
That's what I see in front of me. So
you can make all kinds of different assumptions to it. But what we see is all we can go off of. Now you're going to of course play certain things in your head.
Yep.
Hopefully, because you know what, if you just react instantly, that could be bad too.
that would be
right?
bad if you just reacted without
So-
thinking. I'm going to use critical thinking. I'm going to say, look, if
And
this
now-
guy's
go ahead.
if he's doing this in public,
Right.
then what is he doing in private?
Okay. So now, how fast does that go through your head?
Like I rationalize that out now, so when I'm in that situation, I don't have to think
Okay.
about it. Like
There you
I'm
go.
good.
There
I'm not
you
getting
go.
involved.
So that
Unfortunately, it sucks.
no. That's deep, right? Because now you're adding that to the whole thing. Okay, as a martial artist, so now you've laid these different scenarios out in your head, so that if you ever face them, this is how you
kinda ready.
believe you'll react. Right? It's
Yeah.
almost like visualization and training.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because in martial arts, a lot of times, look, I know that if I'm going to try to pass the guard and then go to side mount and then work to knee on the belly, you're picturing this, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. Ooh, the guy tries to either turn and I hit him with an arm bar, spinning into the arm bar, or maybe he turns his back and now he's turtle. Like you start laying out scenarios and understanding what you would do.
Yeah.
And that's similar
like
to
a
what we're
few
kind of
steps
doing
ahead.
right now. We're saying, okay, well, what if this happens?
Yeah.
What if I'm like I say, get my hungry man and this happens? Or what if I'm at a family reunion and this happens? Or what if I'm just walking down the street in Sacramento and I see this guy coming at some people? What do I do, right?
That did happen to me actually. This is like
I
I remember like a year ago. No, that's new. I didn't tell you.
Oh,
this.
a different one. Damn.
Yeah, so I'm at the gas station, right? I pull up, boop, get some gas.
Okay.
This car pulls up behind me like really quickly, like really aggressively parks. And then the girl jumps out. She's like not really doing any getting gas. She just like jumps out, kind of wandering.
Right.
Next thing you know, a Tesla pulls up to the pump.
Okay.
And I just didn't think about it. I'm like, wait a second, that's a Tesla. What's he doing here? I think a Tesla at the gas
What's
station.
the Tesla
So-
doing at the pump? That's funny.
Yeah. Homie jumps out. He like grabs her. They're just like going back and forth. He's like shoving her in his car. You know what I did? Pop my gas. Look in the
Right. All right. See.
Bro, I don't care, dude.
No,
Look
okay.
She chose him.
Well,
Hey,
again,
they're gonna get back together.
that's your
gonna hate
rationalization
on me. I'm
beforehand,
sorry.
because from what you saw, you can't make that
I don't know what happened.
determination. Exactly.
But
you don't
I'm not
know.
gonna get involved.
So
Unfortunately.
here's what I learned.
Unfortunately. it sucks.
outside of law enforcement and outside of military training, once I was going through like CCW classes, things like that, a lot of times they tell you your best thing is to be a good witness, to be able to actually clearly describe what you saw, right? And
I
which
didn't
is
want to do
crazy
that. I
because
wanted
they
to
told
leave.
no, and I understand.
I had no interest in staying.
I understand that too. You
just-
don't even want to do that, but
They clearly knew each other because he called her by name.
Yeah,
too.
and
So
that's
I
fine.
knew that it was like a boyfriend girlfriend domestic
well,
dispute thing.
again, you just knew that he called her name. It's
Yeah.
like everything. Keep in mind, everything else is going to be an assumption, right? Because we don't know these jokers.
Yeah.
And that's why they're saying being a good witness would have been. Now, you didn't want to be, which is fine. But like, let's say I was there and it was like, hey, this guy jumped out of his Tesla. His Tesla's, it's blue, blah, blah, blah. And he yelled out a name, right? She turned. She responded to the name. Then all this. Like, I can't say, oh, yeah, he called her because that's his girlfriend or his wife. No, all I know is he yelled out a name. She saw, responded. He started to attack. He tried to freaking basically pull her into the car, which appears to be a kidnapping. You know what I mean? Like, and you'd be able to pass that on to the police. Like, that's usually your best bet. But other people are going to be like, hell no. I see this joker about to kidnap somebody. I'm stepping in because I've seen a movie and because I think it's the right thing to do. And that's hard,
you
man.
have to get you're thin slicing bits of information so quickly. So I didn't believe it was like a kidnapping situation. To me, it was like, this is what the perception was, guy and girlfriend get into an argument. She just wants to get away.
Right.
And he follows her, and they're going to get into a big old fight, and they want to resolve it.
If he tries to pull in her car, that's a kidnapping.
I don't think he was trying to pull in his car. Maybe I misspoke. I think he was just grabbing her and just like, it was just getting a little aggressive. It's clearly like, he lost control a little bit. That's what
So what would other people do? Like, and again, I don't know that there is any definitive right answer to
that was the right answer for me. I did.
Yeah,
I would do it again. I'd look at
it's the right answer for you.
I'll tell you. Look. Here's why. Our culture has changed. Okay. Now, if you go back and go back a few decades, to like the 50s. All right. Or you could even go to like the 30s. In the 30s, you can even go back farther.
Right.
Go back to like the 1800s when you had cowboys and Indians and all that stuff.
Right.
Cowboys and Indians, but just cowboys. Like,
I got you.
You know how they treated women back then, bro? They would like tip their hat. They treat
it's chivalrous.
It's chivalrous, bro. If you even like, you couldn't even raise your voice to a woman. A guy would just deck you. Wham! Would you raise your voice to a woman like that, right?
Yeah.
That's how it was. It was like that through the 50s. Like, you couldn't raise your voice to a woman if you did any threatening gesture.
Right.
Think of the old, like the guy grabs his girlfriend, tries to pull her back, and the other guy grabs him by the shoulder.
Right from the bar,
and
socks
wham, right? That is so common, right? It's so common. Like Biff, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah,
Biff.
Get your
That's the whole
damn
movie. Get your damn hands
off
off
my
her,
woman.
wham, and he decks him. That's how we were, and I wasn't alive in the 50s.
That was a good reference.
But that's how it was. And what I've noticed is that we still want to help women, especially as a men. But that threshold seems to be higher. Where the farther along you go on in time,
right?
It's like, okay, now we'll let you raise your voice here. Now we'll let you grab her and pull her a bit. Now we'll let you push her a little bit. Now we'll let you maybe even smack her. I'm not going to jump in. Now, if he's sitting there like he's killing her, okay, I'm going to jump in. I'm not going to let her die. But if he just smacked her once, that's where we are in society.
Yeah, people will sometimes let that slide.
Unfortunately, that's where we are in society.
Okay, but that's
because you can't jump in and be Joe Good Samaritan and trying to break up fights.
Covered. You're not instantly protected by.
You're not, man. You might end up going to prison. You can get shot, stabbed, and then, like I said, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get back together anyway. It's not like that's not the catalyst.
Again, I don't know that those.
And that even doesn't really matter. But
right.
What I'm saying is that's typically that's just a little tidbit of information. That's usually how it goes down. It's very rare when it's a stranger assaulting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Different.
Most interactions are always not always. Most interactions are with people you already know. That's for sure.
But it sucks that we're here. It sucks that it's like
suck
this. I wish it was back like the 50s, where like
don't even go that far either, because we were talking about this too, right? I don't think you should be able to just turn somebody around and punch him in his face because he raised his voice to somebody.
Well, it was just a different generation where
yeah, totally. And a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it was from your movies, it was from the culture, and it was from all those things. It's like, yeah, we're going to be out there and protect and blah blah blah. But keep this in mind too, right? Because we also did not address this. So not only men are martial artists, right? So you also have like women out there who can fight too. Like would they intervene, right?
The flip side
so now you got your ladies' night out or something like that. You see somebody getting handsy or whatever. Well, boom. As a martial artist, maybe you've got years of kickboxing in. Do you throw that leg kick and then hit her with a cross? It's like, and let's say you do. You run the same risk. You've just assaulted somebody. It's like, damn.
You will get sued nowadays.
You can do everything right and still get sued.
Or you may not get sued, but you may just have criminal charges brought up against you.
Yep, and then you got to go through the case, and you have to beat it, right? Is it worth it? Damn. This is obviously just an opinion piece, right? We're throwing it out here because I'm interested. Like, what does other people? What have you seen? What have you done? I can seriously think of examples, like I said, where people got into fights and it did not work out well for them afterwards. Man, I mean, I've had situations with myself here where I've had one back towards college. It was, I'm walking home. I hear somebody, they're yelling help, right? And I'm like, oh, shit. And this is before, I don't know if I had a cell phone or anything. I was just like.
I think you told me this story.
Yeah, and it was like me and my brother, and we're I went to college in the hood, and I lived out in a not great place. And And I'm like, shit, nah, man. Like, we were walking home from a party. We're already kind of buzzed up. We were very responsible. We didn't drive home. We walked home, right? And we hear that, and I'm like, oh, man, nah, look, we got to just keep on pushing. And we went the hell home, right? Do I know what happened? No fucking clue. But then I've also had a situation
Like,
where
but I didn't buy milk for another month.
right? And then I've had a situation where it was like, you know, I also heard it was like, help, you know, and I was with my daughter, and my daughter was like, did you hear that? To which I then had to go into, I certainly did, baby girl. Let me go see what's going on. It flipped in my head, that one, right? I'm like, I got my daughter, and honestly, I probably shouldn't have intervened because I was there with my daughter. Like, that was probably a better reason not to do anything, right?
Yeah.
But I did. I went. I helped, and actually helped somebody. You know, I called the cops. I got everybody involved. Had, you know, and they were taken care of because they were in a bad way. But was it smart for me to do that? Like, it'd probably been smarter if I had just avoided the whole situation, because what if something happened to me and then my daughter would have just been there by herself? Man, these
man,
are
you don't
hard,
think, dude. I
man.
remember when I was a kid. I must have been 18 or 19.
I thought you were about to say the 18 or 1900s.
No. I was like 18 or 19.
But just the 1865.
And
Go ahead.
And I'm pulling up. I was gonna go see this girl or whatever, so I'm pulling up to her house, and probably maybe 100 yards in front of me, there's this guy. The trunk's open, and he's trying to shove this girl in the back of the trunk.
Holy shit!
So I'm pulling up, so I just floored it. You know, I'm a kid. I just floored it. I was just gonna ram him, dude. I didn't even think about it, but he like jumped out of the way. But she got away, man. She lifted her head, and she freaking got away. So
damn,
I did end up saving her.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
yeah, would you do that
I might have
now?
killed him.
Right, you could have killed the dude, and it could have been anything.
I could have been in prison I'd be just getting out of prison right now. Harold, what's this jujitsu?
I want to try this jujitsu. He showed up as a white belt.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, man. Why did you start
since
earlier?
I was 19.
I've been locked up for the last 40 years.
You know, when you're younger, you don't use good judgment. But at the end of the day, look at, hey man, I might have saved her life. Though.
Okay, so
might have saved her life.
This great segue, right? When you're younger, a lot of times.
Don't think.
It is, man. It's a testosterone thing.
Yeah.
It's like boom, boom. I gotta go. I'm gonna do this. So this comes back to the martial arts part, right? Martial arts usually helps you temper emotional responses.
Yes.
Martial arts makes you go, hey, hit the brakes. Even though you might still process something very, very quickly, right? But you've still internalized and slowed down the situation. You go, hold on. Let me chill here for a second.
Yes.
What I would say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like, you can slow down, and it seems slow to somebody else, but you've really processed it really quickly. But you process it through the lens of, does this actually require me to physically intervene, right? And as a martial artist, man.
9 times out of 10, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? I probably agree. 9 times out of 10, you really don't usually need to get physical with somebody. I avoid it as much as possible. I mean, we've told stories before on just dumb shit that happened at the bar, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm not.
Oh yeah,
I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, no, you need to be well beyond that. You know, at our age, and you know, especially doing martial arts and all that.
I have way too much to lose.
Yeah,
I have way too much to lose. And I've seen some podcasts where they talked about this too before, and they were like about intervene or not intervene, and I know a lot of military guys and a lot of law enforcement stuff like that. It's yes, intervene, absolutely.
It would be because, you know, I could say all this stuff, but think about it. If we were at the bar and some guy was there with his girlfriend, he's like slapping her or beating her, bro. You know, we would still.
What's the chances
after all that
we would right? Even after saying
would.
all this and
saying all this,
through,
I wouldn't, but you know you would though.
Because it just naturally kicks in a lot of time. Damn.
I know.
So what do you guys think, right? I mean, I'm really interested if you're willing to share a story or two, because I don't know that there's a right answer. I think there is, like you said, a right answer for you, a right answer for me, because damn, what do you stand to lose also by doing this? What do you stand to gain? What do you stand to lose?
Yeah, I'd be happy if men kind of thought about it and kind of played out how these different scenarios, you know, could play out. Basically, what could be the possible outcomes, right? And just
How
know that
fast-
going
oh,
into it.
You're
At
saying
least
play them out
play them out in your head.
before anything ever
Yeah,
happens.
play them out now. You know,
Right.
and see
Play them
like,
out as we're talking about it, right?
yeah, like at least you thought about it. Because how many people don't even think about it? Then you're in that situation, you react
Facts.
based off emotion.
They're just
and then,
oblivious.
Yeah, then you're facing legal consequences, or maybe you get hurt physically.
Yeah.
It could be all bad. So just maybe I would say think about it. So at least you're not going into it. Like, how many guys think about this? Even guys that don't know how to fight.
Uh-huh.
They're like, man, what are you gonna do if you get in a fight? Man, I'm gonna just sucker punch a guy. I'm gonna do this. Like, they have a stupid little game plan. I'm gonna kick him in the nuts.
Right.
They have a little game plan. At least in their mind, they have something. Right. I'm saying, do that, but not the physical part of it. Just like, do I even
Map
get
it
involved with these different scenarios?
So they're,
basically?
oh man.
Have something, some little
See,
framework.
and I
of-
do that. I do that regularly. I do that all the time. I do that when I go to go have dinner. I do that when I go into crowded areas. I do that all the time because I'm like, if I'm here, how do I get out of here? If I'm here, what might I have to go through, or who might I have to go through to get out of here? Now, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, part of that I think it's a military thing. Part of that is the law enforcement thing. Part of that is the martial artist thing. And I think when I tie all those together, like, I don't like to go into a restaurant and have my back to the door. I like to actually I like to be able to face the door, see what's coming, see. I want to have, clear vision around me, and and if I'm with my family, I'm like, okay, I need them here so I can see what's going on around them. Hell, when I walk through Sacramento, like we're saying, if I'm going to go see like a show or some shit like that with the fam, I have them walking in front of me. I'm behind because I can see people who are coming towards them. I can pay attention to what's going on around. If somebody is going to attack from the rear, I'd rather them have to deal with me first. Man, it's weird because when you start coming up with all the possible scenarios, it's overwhelming because you can't come up with them all.
I think for me,
infinite amount of scenarios.
You're right. I think for me, I would help people that are just maybe victims of being attacked 100% every time, and I think I'm okay with that, and I wouldn't overthink it.
Right.
My personal thing is I draw the line when it's people that know each other. When it's like a boyfriend and girlfriend scenario, I just don't get involved. Because I know there's an area, because I work downtown, really close to the Capitol, and there's a little area there kind of down by Old Sac where there's a bridge, like an overpass, and you have to go down like this underneath, and it's like pitch black in there. They have lights in there, but there's always like little hood rats in there. There's little skaters. There's always like little riffraff in there. There's always some like not unscrupulous people, basically. But you kind of have to walk through there to get to the next section of street.
Right.
And people go through all the time, like, men, women, everybody. But I'm always, kind of looking around, and I see women go through there sometimes alone. And in my mind, I'm like, I would definitely try to help them if something happened, because they're just an innocent person that gets attacked. But then again, if there's some old man walking through, I would help. If there's a young man, I would try to help anybody, I think, if I could.
You know what? It would be the perception of, hey, was this person just minding their own business?
They're just trying to get through.
They were just trying to get home. They were just trying to get to where they're going. Yeah, man.
We used to own like the boyfriend and girlfriend. Actually, that happened. I went through once. There's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and they were fighting. Kept right on strolling.
Yeah, because
kept right on strolling.
It's dangerous to get involved.
You'll be all right.
It is. And damn, so this is wild because I don't want to tell people just don't intervene, but actually at the same time, I don't want to tell people to intervene either. I mean, you really have to weigh all your own options and say, yo, how's this going to work out for me? You're great. Obviously, you got.
No, I remember one time
you want to tell somebody.
That place is crazy. I probably shouldn't be walking through there, but you're like, why you go? Because I like to take a little walk sometimes. Again, that's the way I have to go. I'm not going to not go. But anyway,
there you go.
I went through there one time, and there were two girls. There were like a group. There were two guys and two girls, and the two girls were just duking it out, bro. They were going at it. So one girl's whole shirt came off.
Yeah,
they're just like, they're throwing it down, right? And then the guy, one of the boyfriends, jump in. And then they all like jumped on that guy, like. So next thing you know, it's a big problem. You know what I did?
Yeah, you got to keep on moving.
Strolling.
See, now
I actually watched for a second. I said, this is kind of entertaining. Dude. I just kept right on strolling.
I'm
not about to jump in.
If it's a big fight, I'm definitely not breaking up that. I'm not trying to get involved in something
and
like that.
they're all kids, teenagers.
Yeah. Damn.
But there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
So you know what we did not say?
What?
One of the things we did not say, and maybe this is the right thing to do for everyone. You call the cops. you at least say, hey, this is going on at this location. I ain't gonna be here when you show up, but I just wanted you to know this is happening.
And you know what's so funny about
Even
that?
though, see, you're not supposed to leave either. I don't know.
No, you're kind of right though. You should do that. But when I left, actually I kept going. Went on my walk. When I came back through, they were kind of still there, but it wasn't
But
like
they're not
it
fighting
settled
anymore.
down. And when I went on the other side, I saw one of the security guards. I'm like, hey, in that tunnel, there was like a bunch of people were fighting. It was
There you
getting all
go.
bad. He said, oh yeah, that's not our jurisdiction. That's the police. We're just the mall. We don't care about that. Like
They're not
they
wrong.
they don't care, dude.
Well, you know what? But security, they're not
Crazy.
getting paid to
I know,
secure
so-
everything.
So
They're there to secure that area.
So think about it. They're in security. At least it's in the realm of their somewhat to protect. And you're just a regular guy walking. You're a civilian. It's definitely not my job.
Right? And it's not. Damn.
Now here's the sad part. This is gonna sound horrible. This is gonna sound so bad.
Go ahead.
I feel almost guilty of saying this. Okay, so there was also a little puppy that was there.
Okay.
I swear to God, I was walking. I said, if one of these fools kicks that puppy, I'm jumping in. He's innocent. I'm not joking.
Oh
I
my
swear it. I
God.
swear it. I know it's terrible.
You
It's
sound
terrible.
like so many
I
other
know
people.
it's terrible, but you know what? It was like
They would,
Man, you can't be
they
heating
would
up with that
save
puppy.
a dog. They
I
would
know.
save a dog before a person. Hey, look,
sue me, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna sue you, man.
I know, it's terrible.
Everybody's is entitled to whatever
I mean,
they
at least
want.
I'm honest. But it didn't happen. They didn't hurt the dog.
That's good. I'm glad they didn't kick Fido.
I'm glad I didn't have to jump in. I get all
Slap
stabbed
a
up for
rear
a puppy.
naked choke on somebody for puppy kicking.
Then I get stabbed. Like, shit,
Oh
I
my
was saving a
God.
puppy. Got stabbed in my lung.
It's like, was it worth it?
Yeah.
That he's gonna grow up to be a Great Dane.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that's it, man. Like, we don't have a real, true, definitive answer. This was like a conversation we were having, and believe me, we got a lot deeper, and we probably got a lot more controversial between ourselves. We're cool giving opinions, and we're even cool responding. But man, some shit we say probably shouldn't be immortalized.
I know.
So we're going to leave it there. I mean, we want your opinion. We want to hear your stories if you've got some, and we also want you to like, subscribe, and share. But yeah, damn, Rob, what do you think?
I think we did enough damage.
I think we did enough damage, really.
No, like I said, I'll be happy if people just give it some thought. Give those little scenarios some thought. Play them out in your mind because those things happen fast. Things in real time, man, it's just so quick. You don't have time to map out all these different outcomes. You're just like in the moment. And like I
Right.
said, I could say all this stuff now and do a totally opposite.
For sure.
2 hours from now, if I'm on the street, it depends on everything, like the mood, the way I interpret it. I could see a threat. I don't know, man.
No, you're 100% right, man. It's like it is worth it, in my opinion. I think it's worth it to visualize some of this stuff, to play scenarios out through your head. Listen, instead of just sitting around watching whatever show you're watching, or better yet, maybe you are watching a show. Say, damn, what would I do in that scenario? What would I do in this action movie when the guy he grabs the person, runs away, or what do I do if blah blah blah? Like, think about it, right? Think about it because it's worth it, and it's like it helps being prepared. And if being prepared is important to you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna find a way. You'll visualize. You'll come up with some stuff. If it's not important to you, you'll make an excuse. That shit don't matter to me. And then when some shit kicks off, you're like, what do I do? Well, you don't want that either, right? So think it out. Think it through.
And if your boyfriend, girlfriend, don't be fighting in front of me.
Yeah, don't.
I'm gonna let y'all fight.
Don't fight in front of 1865 Rock.
Hey man, I would jump in if it was 1865. I would jump in.
Thing, yeah. But
Now
I
I get shot.
Say, remember Colonel Kurtz? I see nothing. Hogan Hero.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you, man. This was cool. Give us your scenarios. Tell us what you think.
Throw in the comments.
Definitely
Share this one out. I think this will get some dialogue going. We appreciate it, and we'll check you guys out next week. Puss.
Us.